What is going on, guys? DBG here, and today we're going to be talking about the effect that guaranteed Galaxy Opal packs have had on the market in NBA 2K22 MyTEAM. And there might be no effect, there might be a huge effect, but I'm going to explain what ended up happening if you guys are new, and kind of what's going on in general with the game mode of MyTEAM. So, before we get on to, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. Huge thank you guys for 280,000 subscribers. We just hit that yesterday. Right now we're at about 50 ahead of that. We're on the road to 300k anyway, but we are about 50 subscribers ahead of that. So if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. Last year I wanted to drop back to 279k at some stage, but yeah. Anyway, so what ended up happening in these packs were, so boxes, basically if you bought, these are packs at normal price, then there's 10 pack boxes, but if you bought a 20 pack box, you got a free Galaxy Opal of your choice. So there were guaranteed Galaxy Opal boxes. But these cards were unauctionable, which makes perfect sense. I didn't really like it at the start, I do like it now. I really like the idea because, like, a 10 pack box is 99k, so you literally get a free. If you're buying a 20 pack box, it's free. So I like the idea of that. But let's have a look at what it's done to the Galaxy Opal market. So Galaxy Opal, minimum buy of 500. So right now, Chris Paul was 100k prior to the announcement. He was the only buyout Galaxy Opal, and now it's Chris Paul and Zion. So that has not changed whatsoever. That has not changed whatsoever. So let's see the prices. So obviously these guys are coming in, they're ending at what they're ending at. It's not the end of the world, but you're seeing Ja was 500k. So he's kind of gone down quite a bit. And Ja, I think, has more so gone down quite a bit because he's no longer even a top 5 point guard in MyTEAM. I think that's the real reason. Clay is still in and around the same price. Michael Jordan is still ridiculously overpriced, but still in and around the same price. Embiid hasn't really gone down a little bit at all in price. So I'm flicking through here. Obviously, certain guys are expensive. Yijian Lian has he's probably gonna end around the same. Grant Hill's way too expensive. Jesus Christ, he's barely better than Michael Jordan. Surprised amare is not a buyout, but from scrolling through, it does not appear the prices have changed that much. The only cards that seem to have gone down in price are point guards, but that's due to supply. Sorry, that's due to demand going down. Like, it's all supply and demand. When we got 4 god tier point guards, a demand slightly has gone down for some players. But other than that, it appears to have not affected the opals whatsoever. So you would think, and one thing is that you would think is that most people that say want any of these Galaxy Opal cards would have just said, you know what, screw it, I'll just buy it. A lot of people would have just said, screw it, I'll just buy the boxes. And you might have thought maybe the demand for these guys like Rose, Cat, Jalen Rose, Jesus Christ, it's 9 extra half badges, would have gone down. But the demand is clearly still super high. And also for the guys like Grant Hill, which is crazy. So I'm flicking through here. Obviously, we're now at 20 minutes, so it really doesn't matter. But like, even in terms of pink diamonds, I would have thought maybe it would push the price down, but it's only Oden that's cheap. It hasn't really affected the market at all. Like, this was expected to have caused a huge market crash, and I don't necessarily think that a massive market crash at this stage of the year is that good a thing. But I kind of like what they did. I kind of like the fact that the cards were unauctionable because it didn't affect the market. If you look at pink diamonds under 10k, you're getting Greg Oden. Like, it didn't push down. Oh, you're getting pink Greg Oden and Boozer. Boozer's actually not bad at all. 10k is very cheap for him, but he's not a bad card at all. He's not as good as Oden, but he's not bad. But yeah, you're essentially just getting Greg Oden at this stage, so it hasn't really pushed the price down of anything. Rubies, obviously, this weekend limited, has pushed the price up at them. Amethyst are at the same price as they always were, and a lot of other things have kind of stayed the same. So that is one of the mad things, is that you would have thought a bunch of people would have been, you would have thought guaranteed opals would have kind of brought down the price of opals, but it hasn't. And let me explain why it hasn't. The reason why the market hasn't crashed is because nobody's selling their cards. It's very few people are completely liquidating their collection. So what normally happens for the market to go down, there needs to be a greater supply than the demand. So most of the time, what ends up happening is, say, if there's guaranteed Galaxy Opal packs, if these cards were auctionable, people would be all, say, auctioning these cards, trying to constantly buy, sell, flip. You're going to be trading with these guys a lot. I reckon these cards would have been in and around, even if it was 300k and they're auctionable, only around 150k each. But because these cards are now rare, the demand is really high, whereas the supply is low. And the only way to really get these guys, to guarantee you can get these guys, is by spending real money, which a lot of people still don't do. I reckon more than 50% of the player base don't spend any money on this game. So, look, it is what it is. There hasn't been a new... Like, the demand is still super high for these guys, other than Edwards, because they're really, really good, and the supply isn't high. So, yeah, well, let's just say 25% of people play the game bought one of these boxes. 75% didn't. So then that remaining 75% are fighting over, because of how bad the odds individually are. Like, these odds are 0.2% to pull in the Dark Matter or Galaxy Opal. They're like, those 75% are now fighting over probably less of overall opals. So it's not affecting the price of them. And as well as that, these cards are so expensive. Like Jalen Rose, these point guards are so expensive that most of the other guys around them haven't really changed in price. Jazz dropped a little bit. But in terms of other point guards, like if you want Steph because he's Steph. Other point guards, like Penny dropped. Penny Hardaway dropped in price, I guess. I guess you can say he dropped. But he kind of shot back up. He went down to like 20k on one stage. He's up now. He's back, looks to be back up at 30. But he was always going to drop. He's a freaking diamond card from November. And he's going to drop in price. But that's really it. There were a couple of specific cards that dropped in price, but there was no overall market. The overall market's still in and around the same price. Because again, the demand is still greater than the supply for the vast majority of Galaxy Opal cards, because they're still very rare. And then I don't think it's really going to affect the pink dial market, things like that. So yeah, that is pretty much it. Like, a lot of people thought, even with the fact, a lot of people thought that what was going to happen was, with these boxes, the supply was going to stay kind of the same as it normally would, and people were going to still buying a lot of packs, which is true. But they thought that the demand was going to go down for each of these cards, and because people would say they would buy these guys, that the demand for a lot of other cards would kind of drop. The problem is, like, four of these guys are point guards. One of these guys is a very bang average player in Anthony Edwards, and one of these guys is a center. So all the wings in the game, all the likes of Giannis, the Kobe's, the Clays, they're not changing in price, because there's no two guards. Like, maybe those guys would drop if, for example, Jalen Rose was like juiced and he played the 2. But like, everyone who's buying Harden is playing him at the 1. Everyone who's buying Rose is playing him at the 1. Everyone who's buying Lonzo is playing him at the 1. Same with Jalen Rose. So it just didn't affect anything, because while the supply didn't really change compared to a normal week, and the demand kind of stayed the same. There might have been like a slight increase in supply, whereas the demand was still almost the same, because people weren't buying every one of the boxes. As well as that, 75% of people, I'd say, probably never bought a box, so they're still trying to buy some stuff with MT. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's just an explanation as to what has happened to the market, because people were genuinely messaging me being like, the market's messed up, And I remember replying to one of them and just saying, what do you mean the market's messed up? And they were like, oh, we got guaranteed opals and the market never changed. So I'm like, people were expecting some huge market crash, and there really wasn't. The only time, this is like, things that don't cause market crashes, especially for high tier cards, are like VC only packs. Anything that's VC only, very rarely. If you could buy boxes with MT, I'm telling you, the market would be, even with the cards being non-auctionable, if you could buy boxes with MT, market would have crashed. But because you can't buy them with MT, and the vast majority of players do not spend VC on the game, the market stayed exactly where it was on Thursday night. If anything, Thursday night was when the market crashed. The market's right back up to where it was pretty much on Thursday. If anything, the market has rebounded since these packs have come out. So anyway, yeah, that is pretty much it, lads. That is the video. The video is going to be titled like market crash stuff. Again, you just got clickbaited a little bit. The market is not crashed. The fact that guaranteed opals will cause the market to go up just shows the fact that it's very, very difficult to predict market trends in my team. So that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.